I want to take a look at a clip of Tucker Carlson as he hosts a COVID truther. Now, just so you know what a COVID truther is, at this juncture, I think you should understand that there's a whole lot of people out here who are not taking this pandemic seriously. And it is people are dying. The number of people who are dying is going up because of the level of stupidity that we have in this country with regard to COVID-19. Tucker Carlson is platforming someone who is helping to spread those conspiracy theories by the name of Alex Berenson. And he's going to tell viewers that, quote, COVID vaccines are, quote, declining in effectiveness very quickly. Let's take a look at the first clip.
Berenson joins us now. Alex, thanks so much for coming on.
Hi, Tucker.
There's just so much here, and you may know too much to give a crisp answer. So I'm just going to throw it out to you. How do you assess the developments I just explained?
So, look, masks are useless for their wearers. Again, we've known this for at least a year. We have a randomized controlled trial showing it. They probably do little to nothing for source control, i.e. to block the transmission of virus. We've known that too. Maybe if you decide to wear an N95 mask and have it on your face.
Hang on. Bring me on the screen. Bring me on the, put us on the B-roll shot for that. I got to interrupt because this is why we got suspended last time. We got the documents, David, right? We got the documents. I got to pause it in the middle of it because last time we got suspended was because of a clip that we played from Donald Trump where he was spreading COVID misinformation. Our channel got suspended because of COVID misinformation that Donald Trump was spreading in one of his speeches. We got the receipts. So I just want to interrupt this now. So to say that if we get suspended again, it's because, well, we're trying to debunk COVID misinformation and the algorithms that we're fighting against aren't intelligent enough or the people who created them don't care enough to make that kind of distinction. Don't mean to get too upset about it, but what he's saying is so dangerous that we have to debunk it. But I know in the process of debunking it, we are putting our channel at risk because, well, that's how it works in this digital space. Let's start the clip again. Keep us in a B-roll setting, and maybe that'll give us a chance to not be suspended. Let's take a look at it.
Alex, thanks so much for coming on.
Hi, Tucker.
There's just so much here, and you may know too much to give a crisp answer. So I'm just going to throw it out to you. How do you assess the developments I just explained?
So, look, masks are useless for their wearers. Again, we've known this for at least a year. We have a randomized controlled trial showing it. They probably do little to nothing for source control, i.e. to block the transmission of virus. We've known that too. Maybe if you, decide to wear an N95 mask and have it on your face the whole time, you're out and never touch it, you get some minor benefit, although even that is not really proven. As you said, I mean, what I've grown to conclude over the last 12 months is that masks are very simply symbolic. All they are is a sign you are in a dangerous time. You need to listen to us. If I don't see people wearing masks, I forget to be scared. And that's why they want people wearing masks. And it just could not be clearer.
The psychological damage they're doing here. So we're now told there's a third wave, and this may undercut the effectiveness of the vaccines. How effective are the vaccines? Do we know so far?
The vaccines, unfortunately, appear to be declining in effectiveness very quickly. And I believe this is why Twitter has me blocked. So I've been blocked for 12 hours, Tucker. But this is a very clear warning signal. I've never been blocked on Twitter before. And I've written a lot of stuff about masks and, lockdowns and lots of stuff that people have not liked, even though it's all been backed by data, all been backed by, primary government sources and scientific papers and stuff. Vaccines appear to me to be a third rail. There's tremendous public health pressure, and there's also tremendous financial pressure in favor of these vaccines.
Okay, so obviously it's filled with misinformation, and I'm starting there again because YouTube's algorithm doesn't seem to know the difference between debunking misinformation and spreading misinformation. But I digress. The first thing that jumped out to me in this clip is the fact that he's saying that masks don't work. We know that's not true. We do know that masks do, and specifically because he's trying to muddy. Let me unpack this correctly. He's trying to muddy and conflate the difference between wearing a mask to protect yourself and wearing a mask to protect someone else. Wearing a mask to protect yourself, we have seen that it is not as effective as somebody else recognizing that they should wear a mask. It is our wearing of a mask that protects other people more than it protects ourselves. And it is because that this virus has has this unique feature that the only way to really stop it is if we have a sense of collectivism, the sense of working together. And because it is incumbent upon those of us who have COVID-19, or simply as a statement of solidarity, to wear a mask to prevent us from spreading anything. The instances of flu have gone down because people have been wearing masks. Respiratory illnesses have been proven to be able to be minimized by people wearing masks. And so what he's done in this clip, Alex Berenson, what he's done is he's conflating you wearing a mask to protect yourself versus you wearing a mask to protect someone else. We need you to wear a mask to protect other people. And this is what he's conflating in this clip. That's number one. Then he said N95 masks don't work. I'm sure there are a lot of doctors who are still alive today who would like to have a word with you, Alex. Last but not least, we're on Fox News, the biggest platform in the country. Tucker Carlson has between 3 to 4 million people who watch him every single night. And if you really want to know why it is that the Delta variant is starting to spread and why people are starting to die more, why we were on our way out of the pandemic, but now we're seeing us turning back towards more people dying, more hospitalizations, more infection rates. It's because there's so much misinformation out there that it is literally contributing to the rise and spread of COVID-19. TheGuardian.com said majority of COVID misinformation came from 12 people, a report finds. The CCDH finds disinformation doesn't have combined following of 59 million people across multiple social media platforms. I got to break that down again. And we're going to bring Rebecca Azor to the conversation, David, whenever you're ready. The vast majority, I'm reading directly from The Guardian. The vast majority of COVID-19 anti-vaccine misinformation and conspiracy theories originated from just 12 people. A report by the Center for Countering Digital Hate, cited by the White House this week, found. The CCDH, it is a United States, Britain nonprofit and non-governmental organization found that in March that just 12 online personalities have dubbed those 12 people as the disinformation dozen. They have a combined following of 59 million people across social media platforms, with Facebook having the largest impact. 812,000 Facebook posts and tweets have found 65% of the disinformation came from just 12 people. This shows you the kind of impact and the reach that these platforms have. Now, I just got this article. I haven't had a chance to finish reading it. And Rebecca, I want to bring you in on this conversation. But Tucker, I mean, we're looking at the graphs this week, and the number of infections have gone up. The number of hospitalizations have gone up, and the number of deaths have gone up. And Tucker Carlson's talking to 4 million people, 3 to 4 million people every single night. And here we are with him putting this on national television last week, and people are dying. How you doing this morning, Rebecca?
I'm doing okay. I apologize. I was having a rough login. But Tucker Carlson spreading misinformation has been the agenda this whole time, right? Because when they speak to the power of their people, when they speak to the power of the far right or the conspiracy theorists who want to have a reason not to take the vaccine, it helps their platform grow, and it helps people trust them giving more misleading information more often. We've seen this. This is nothing new. I mean, we've seen this a lot of times in politics, but now the difference is he not only has them on television, he has them in social media, and he has them. Social media is a very powerful tool. Facebook being one space for that older conservative crowd to create groups and to create more ways to spread the misinformation that is led by people like Tucker Carlson, who they trust. And if they hear that from verified pages, or hear that news from verified pages, or hear that from people like that one man, I forget his name, who talked about the conspiracy theorists about those kids that were shot up. You know, those kids that were murdered.
Oh, Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. Yeah. And then we have the Marjorie Taylor Greens in the world as well. And we don't only have people who are spreading misinformation on that side of it, though. We even have our own who are out there who are saying things like, hey, it's not, and I understand the fear of it. I understand the fear of getting the vaccine. I understand, being confused. I understand those kind of things, not knowing where to go, or if it's, some people still don't know if it's free, so just that misinformation in itself. But then you do have our people, or people even on our side, who are saying, that's why I ain't get it. Saw that person die, saw that person do this, saw that person this, and that's us doing a disservice as well to our own, when we're probably more likely the ones who are going to not get the best health care when it comes to that. Hey, Jeremiah.
Yeah, it's Jada went back to work today.
Oh, really?
Work. Yeah, so I'm multitasking.
Everybody is going. They're trying to get us all to go. Look, I digress, bro. But they trying to get everybody to go back August, September. And it ain't right. But is she still at home though?
No. Well, today she had to go in, but for the most part, she's going to be at home. So today and this week, I'll probably be. Y'all see Jeremiah.
Yeah. You need to be looking over because the mischief will be in the corner.
Okay? Oh, he's over. Yeah, he's got something now. Finish what you were saying.
So no, while Ben gets the baby together, I say all this to say there's a lot of misinformation and I hate to say this phrase because it takes me back to when the Orange Man was in office, but it's coming from all sides. But most important, there is a big reach with short arms from the right, though. I will say that because of their.
What do you mean by that? That is I love that. I love that saying. Yeah. Break that thing down for me. Far reach with short arms.
Yeah, they're they're reaching with short arms. It's kind of like what they're doing is sending all of this misinformation, and they're with this big audience taking it and continuing to spread it. But when you get to them, it's kind of like you're asking them, are they vaccinated? Right. They're going to tell you yes, right? And then you're going to ask them, why shouldn't people get vaccinated? Real questions, not them explaining to you in a monologue. You're going to ask them real questions. Well, do you know what the CDC said? And beyond the CDC, have you spoken to medical professionals in the area?
Right.
People who have had it? They don't have any of this information. They only did just minimal of the research. And what they did was create a monologue to make it sound strong and to make it sound good. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's the thing, right? It's the monologue. They make it sound so convincing. They make it, and this is why video content is so dangerous, because it gives you a level of assurance that there are other people who honestly think the same way that you do. And when you put these dummies on television, like Tucker Carlson does, as a matter of course, then you have other people who are like, oh, okay, so then maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe I'm not a conspiracy theorist because it's on Fox News. And people literally make this calculation, Rebecca. They say, well, they wouldn't let it on Fox News if it wasn't true. Little do you know is that they in that sentence, the government, they don't give a damn what Fox News says. They've been lying to you for 20, 30 years, however long they've been on air. Right. But people really make that conscious decision. I want to share a couple of these names of the disinformation dozen. These folks don't know how to name names. That's hard to say. The disinformation dozen. Why don't you just say the Raggedy 12? All right. Anyway, the Lion 12. Joseph Mercola. He is a anti-vaccination entrepreneur. He's peddling dietary supplements and false cures as alternative medicines to vaccines, alternatives to vaccines. He made the post and he has over 3.6 million followers. That post went extremely viral. His Facebook account, his Twitter account, and his Instagram account are still active. He has that much reach. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Jeremiah, let me finish my work, buddy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This is the son of Robert Kennedy, who was assassinated, who was a presidential candidate. I believe it was 68 or 69. I lost track of the date. 68, actually. Robert F. Kennedy, his Facebook is active and his Twitter is active. And he's been spreading misinformation, posts that have gone extremely viral to the tune of millions of people. I can go on and on and on. There's 12 of them. I'll insert them after the fact. But Rebecca, these people have reach. They have platforms, they have audiences, and their accounts weren't suspended. But ours, my YouTube page was, and we've seen so many times, it happens to us all the time. But these people get away literally with leading to death. They get away with murder because this anti-vax message is getting people killed.